something came to my mind today. Actually, something happened, and it got me thinking about something. Why is it that in a friendship or relationship, whatever, the person, like, why is it that the person who puts the least amount of effort into a relationship or a friendship is the first one to rag on your ass that you don't do enough? And I say this because I had a friend I'm guessing that I hung out with all the time back in the day. We hung out nonstop, and they made a few bad choices here and there. One of the choices got him in some shit, right? And, you know, everybody else was calling him out on it, you know, which, I mean, I guess I can understand. But, you know, I was always there, you know, dude, it's okay. Like, you know, if you're feeling bad or whatever, talk to somebody, you know, I'm here to talk to you if you ever need me. And there were a few times he took me up on that, and I talked to him. We worked out some shit that he was going through, you know, and I was always there as a friend to him. I never put him down. Anything that he wanted to do, I supported him. You know, he was thinking about going to school. Cool, man. Put in the applications. You know, do what you gotta do. I support you. He wanted to find a different job. He wanted to go to school. He wanted to find a different job. He's really good at, you know, a particular skill. He wanted to maybe go do something with that. Cool, I supported him. You know, go online, look up information, do this, do that. I don't know. I supported him and everything, but I will say, looking back at it, he was the type of person who talked a lot of talk, but very rarely acted on it. Which is okay, you know, you can have goals, you can have aspirations, you can do whatever you want. Some falls through, some you realize you don't want to do. Fuck, that's perfectly fine. But, like, if you keep talking about it year after year after year, but then you don't act on it, it's like I could only, you know, encourage you so much, and if you don't listen, or you don't take the steps to go into that, then it's like, I feel like you're just looking for, not for praise, but you're just looking for acceptance, I guess. And I realized that, and I was like, dude, still do it. If you want to do it, do it. He got into some shit. Like I said, I helped him do it. And, you know, he told me he wanted to move. I was like, dude, you know, if you gotta move, you gotta move. That's all right. And, you know, moved. You know, it is what it is. It helped him out. He felt like moving would clear his head, you know, maybe help some things. And I was all for that. Go ahead. So he moved. We still talked for a little bit. Then nothing. I completely fell off. So I was like, okay, maybe he's just doing his own shit. Maybe, you know, he's working, got a job, whatever. Months went by. Didn't hear it. Now, this is somebody who I was rooting for and helping, and not even counseling, but like, you know, listening to his problems and like a soundboard. Like, I would just take, that's the complete opposite of what I was talking about. I would just listen to, you know, his problems and like offer helpful criticism if I had any, you know? I heard from him months, nothing. I had no idea what was going on. Out of the blue, and I can remember this, me and my wife are sitting on our couch watching TV, and I get a phone call from him. And I still have his number in my phone, and I got a call from him. I'm like, shit. You know, they calling. I answer the phone. Hey, is it cool if I come over? I mean, it is kind of like 10 o'clock, but yeah, man, sure, you know, oh, yeah, I'm downstairs. No warning, nothing. I didn't even know, and they moved out of state. You know what? I'm just gonna say he because I've let it slip already. He moved out of state, just out of the blue. I'm downstairs. I'm like, well, shit. He came up, we hung out, we talked. He was telling me how everything was going. I said, dude, I haven't heard of you. I didn't know what was going on with you. Oh, my phone was shut off, this and that. And I'm like, that's fine. I can understand. If your phone was shut off and you couldn't get a hold of anybody, I understand that. It's cool, whatever. It's like, I'm actually leaving in 2 days. I was like, okay, cool. I forgot what job I had at the time. I don't think I had I didn't have my job I have now. I think I was working at Bass Pro. Yeah, I was working at Bass Pro. And I had those 2 days off. So I was like, dude, hit me up. We can hang out. He's also friends with another former friend that I have that I no longer speak to. So he was like, I'm going to be hanging out with, this other guy tomorrow. Would it be okay if we all hang out together? And I was like, you know what? It's honestly been like 3 to 5 years, I think. 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years since I've spoken to this other person. So I said, you know what? You're in town. I'm not saying you can't be friends with this other person because you were before. If you want to hang out and you're hanging out with him and you want me to hang out too, that's cool. I can hang out. Day comes. I hear nothing. I didn't hear from him for the whole day. So I was like, okay, maybe this other person doesn't want to hang out with me. Also, that's fine. We kind of ended our friendship off badly, mostly on him, not as much for me. But I was like, cool, if he didn't feel comfortable hanging out with me, cool. To each their own, whatever. So the day he leaves, I still don't hear anything back from him. So at this point, it's the day he leaves at like midnight. And I'm like, he's gone. At this point, he has told me that he was going out for a certain job that needed him to be back to train. It's like, okay, well, fuck it. I guess he didn't want to hang out. Didn't hear from this dude in months. And mind you, when he was here, I said, dude, I don't ever hear from you. He goes, dude, the phone works both ways. And I'm like, you know what? You might be right. He moved. I figured I'd let him have his space, get his shit in order. If he wanted to talk to me or he had enough time or, enough, space and free time, hit me up. And I was like, you know what? You right. Phone works both ways. I'll make more of an effort. Months coming up, I would call him. I'd get his voicemail sometimes. His phone would be disconnected sometimes, which, I can understand if you don't have money or you don't have a job. Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices and your phone gets shut off. I've been there. I know what that's like. It's whatever. I'd hit him up on Facebook Messenger because his phone would be shut off, but he would have Wi-Fi, as most phones do. You don't have to have phone service in order to use Wi-Fi. So I would hit him up on Facebook Messenger, and we talk a lot through there. And then, he would get an app or something that would run strictly off Wi-Fi, and we texted it. But I would always text him. Hey, what's up? Send him a meme. What's going on? Very rarely did he ever initiate any kind of conversation. He would, I would say. He would sometimes. I'm not saying he never did. And then it got to the point where I was like there had to have been at least 8-9 times where I would hit him up and he'd give me 2 sentences and then read it and then never respond to me again. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I am not going to initiate this time. I am not going to, phone works both ways apparently, and it feels like this right now is only going one way. So I'm gonna wait. And I'm not going to initiate conversation until he hits me up. 7, 8 months later, still nothing. I did hit him up one time. There was like a 4-month gap where I was like, I didn't hear nothing from him. Not a goddamn thing. I hit him up one time because a mutual friend of ours was going through some shit. And I would talk to him. I talked to him a little bit through text and on Xbox. And he was going through some shit. And then I didn't hear from him at all. He wasn't on Xbox. He wouldn't answer text. So I got worried. You know, I was legit worried for our friend. So I hit him up and I was like, hey dude, I know I haven't talked to you in a while. I don't know what that's about. But listen, have you talked to so-and-so? I talked to him like 2 weeks ago and nothing. He goes, oh yeah. I talked to him like 3-4 days ago. You know, he's going through some stuff. And we talked a little bit, but he had to go. I was like, okay, cool. Keep in touch. So then I started thinking about him today. Like, just it popped into my mind. I'm like, you know what? I haven't heard from this dude. I haven't seen him on Facebook, Instagram, nothing. Do you really believe I go to check? And I'm pretty sure he blocked me. I mean, he's deleted his Facebook and Instagram before, but the kind of job he's in now, or that fuck if I know if he's even in that job anymore. But the job he was in, or still is in, I would think you would keep social media, because he is by himself a lot. So I figured he would keep social media. And for a while, I did see stuff from him. I'm just like, he was the one person who kept nagging that the phone works both ways, and yet never tried to keep the friendship going. Now, I understand. You move, you grow as a person, you grow out of friends. Believe me, back in the day, I had like 12, 13 friends that I hung out with on a weekly basis, and now I'm making this real quick jumping. I know I went like this, but I have two people who I talk to as friends that I do actually hang out with. I got one person that I actually hang out with. If you're watching this, you knew who you are. Nobody. They've either all fallen off or are just filled with too much stress and drama that I'm just like, I don't fucking need that shit in my life. So, and I was there, dude, like all the stuff, like all the, you know, everything he was going through that was stressing him out, this and that, I was always there, nonstop. Always there, willing to help. Just goes to show, sometimes the people you would think are gonna be around the longest either don't give a shit or whatever. But I'm like, sometimes it just doesn't matter. Somebody either doesn't want to be helped or not even be helped. Like, they just don't want the shit. And I'm like, it's whatever. I just randomly, it's something that randomly came up. I thought about this person, looked, blocked me. So I'm like, if he ever wanted to reach out, I mean, of course, I'm the kind of person, I'll answer the phone. I'll text back, dude, what's up? But it will never be like it was. I'm sorry. You can't be a wishy-washy friend and then expect me to just answer all the time and help you out. And here's the thing. I know he's been back to Florida. I know he's been back in the neighborhood, like in town. Fuck it. I mean, if you guys know who I'm talking about, it's cool, it's fine. I don't care if this gets to him or anything, but I just gotta say one thing. I fucking tried, dude. I tried. I was there from the get. Everything he went through, I was there for him. I supported him. When shit hit the fan and, you know, people would stop talking to him, people would just like, I was there, you know, and it's like, I guess that really didn't mean much, which is okay. I just, you know, my life's going fine. I'm moving on. If they don't want to talk to me, peace.